Barry Humphries was a giant of the Australian entertainment industry. He was a comedian, a film and stage star for more than half a century. He was responsible for creating some of our best-known characters and conquered the international stage, including London's West End and New York's Broadway. He entertained us with his colourful characters.
Hello, possums. Yes, it's me, Dame Edna, and aren't I looking gorgeous?
Charismatic creations.
And Beryl and I went to bed.
And comedic charm for more than half a century.
I think the Australian public would go for the image that I project of the senior Australian diplomat.
John Barry Humphries, the mischievous and marvellous man behind these faces, was born in Melbourne on February 17, 1934. From a young age, Barry found joy in making people laugh, often dressing up to disguise himself.
Even when I was at school, I quite liked to startle people. It gave me a feeling of identity. Otherwise, in Australia, you disappear.
Nicknamed Sonny Sam, he became a voracious reader and collector of rare books. After dropping out of law at university, he joined the newly formed Melbourne Theatre Company. It was during this time that one of his most famous characters, Edna Everage, first stepped into the spotlight as a dowdy, shy housewife from Moonee Ponds.
And hello everyone, boys and girls, teachers, headmasters, lecturers and students.
She evolved over 4 decades to become an international success story as a housewife gigastar. Barry Humphries left Australia for London at the end of the 1950s and was part of a great Australian arts exodus. Along with author Robert Hughes, journalist Clive James, feminist Germaine Greer and publisher Richard Neville, he achieved great international success. In 1964, while in London, he created the character Barry Mackenzie, described as a boozy Australian rampaging through swinging London. His adventures were serialised as a comic in the satirical magazine Private Eye. After taking centre stage in several West End productions, including Oliver and Maggie May, he returned to Australia in the early 1970s, first appearing as Edna on film in The Naked Bunyip.
Sit down. Do you sleep in a double bed or a single bed? Oh, single beds. Otherwise we have a terrible argument about the electric blanket and sometimes Norm snores, particularly if he's been to the RSL.
In 1972, Edna experienced box office success when she starred in the film version of The Adventures of Barry Mackenzie.
Wake me up when we get to Gapery.
No worries, Auntie.
Its highly anticipated sequel arrived in 1974 and saw Edna being made a dame by then Australian Prime Minister Gough Whitlam.
Arise, Dame.
That same year, Humphries burst onto the scene with a new, rather offensive and uncouth cultural attaché.
I'm always dipping into my slush fund.
Sir Les Patterson was an instant hit, and so was his other, more enduring alter ego, Sandy Stone, often referred to by Humphries as Australia's most boring man.
I went straight to bed and had a very nice night's rest.
Humphries went global with his characters, embarking on international tours.
There was a time when Val May, you probably won't remember my daughter Val May, it was a long time ago, but they went out a little bit at one stage and I was very, very hopeful.
I remember Kenny better.
Oh, my son, yeah.
Selling out shows and mingling with royalty.
They've found me a better seat.
In 2000, he received industry praise, winning a Tony Award for his Broadway offering, Dame Edna. Decorated by both Australia and the UK, he was awarded an Officer of the Order of Australia in 1982 and a CBE for his services to entertainment in 2007. Barry Humphries spent much of his life immersed in music, literature and the arts. In early 2012, Barry Humphries announced his retirement and farewell tour, stating that he was beginning to feel a bit senior.
To work directly with an audience is to me the greatest pleasure of all.
The so-called retirement was not all smooth sailing. He was cancelled in 2019 by the Melbourne Comedy Festival, which he co-founded in 1987. His remarks on transgender issues were deemed unacceptable, so the festival's top prize, the Barry, named after him, was changed to the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Award.
Barry Humphries was cancelled by the Melbourne Comedy Festival, the very festival he himself set up with Peter Cook. And Barry Humphries is the absolute reminder of how Australian sense of humour can dominate the world.
Despite the controversy, Humphries remained an enduring and endearing entertainer. Barry Humphries is survived by his wife, Elizabeth Spender, and 4 children.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, girls. Thanks a lot.